You found this parenting path you're really passionate about. Maybe it's Montessori, maybe it's something else entirely. And you're seeing all the amazing benefits, you're excited, but yeah, not everyone in your life is exactly on the same page. Okay, let's get into it because learning how to handle those relationships, it's honestly one of the biggest and most important parts of the whole journey. We all know that saying, right? It takes a village. But here's the thing, what happens when your village, your partner, your parents, your friends, doesn't really get your parenting style? It can feel, well, super isolating and honestly just plain frustrating. If you've ever felt that kind of tension, trust me, you are not alone.
And this image, it just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? It's all about family and love and trying to stay connected. But when you're trying to explain why you do what you do, why you avoid saying good job or why you let your toddler use a real glass at the table, it can seriously feel like you're speaking a completely different language.
But what if you had a set of tools that could actually help you bridge that gap? The goal isn't to convince everyone or, convert them. It's just about communicating effectively and building a little understanding. And that is exactly what we are going to build right now.
Okay, so this is maybe the most important mindset shift. Let's just take all that pressure off. You do not have to turn your mother-in-law into a certified Montessori guide. Seriously. The real win here is just creating an atmosphere of mutual respect where your choices are understood, even if they're not fully adopted by every single person in your life.
All right, here it is. This is the core of our strategy, and we're breaking it down into 5 simple, actionable steps. Think of this as your go-to toolkit for pretty much any tricky conversation. First, we're going to inform and educate. Then, model the behavior. Third, and this one's my favorite, share the joy. Fourth, offer alternatives. And maybe the hardest one, be patient. Let's dig into what each of these actually looks like.
Okay, check this out. This is such a smart example of that first step, inform. Sometimes just saying the word Montessori can make people put up a wall. But like Jennifer figured out, if you frame it differently, like referencing a source everyone recognizes like the World Health Organization, people are suddenly way more open to it. It's all about finding that common ground and focusing on the why behind your choice, not just the name for it.
So for that educate part, what can you actually do? Well, you don't have to give a formal lecture. It can be super simple, like sharing a podcast you liked, or even better, inviting a grandparent to a school event so they can see it all in action for themselves. The whole idea is to find a way to share information that they'll actually be open to.
I love this one. Share the joy. Instead of trying to explain all the theories, just show the amazing results. And you know why this is so powerful? Because seeing is believing. When your dad sees his grandchild confidently pouring their own milk or totally absorbed in an activity for 20 minutes straight, that just bypasses all the arguments. It connects on a whole different level. So yeah, let the results do the talking.
Okay, so we've got our toolkit. Now for the fun part. Let's talk about how to actually use these strategies with the big 3 relationships in our kids' lives, our partners, grandparents, and any caregivers we might work with. With your partner, it is so easy to get stuck in the weeds arguing about the little things, but the best strategy is to zoom out, way out. Don't start the conversation with Montessori. Start it by talking about your shared dreams. Like, what kind of person do you both hope your child becomes? Kind? Confident? Resilient? Find that big picture vision you both share, and then you can start connecting the dots on how your parenting choices get you there together. And what about those moments when you just don't agree? This is such a practical little guide. The goal, especially in front of your child, is never to win the argument. It's to model how to disagree respectfully. Just look at the difference. Instead of dismissing their point, you acknowledge it. Just saying, I hear that you're worried about safety before you offer your solution. That one little phrase can change the entire dynamic of the conversation. It's a game changer. Ah, yes, the grandparents. This can be one of the toughest relationships to navigate, right? A lot of the time, it's because they feel like our different choices are secretly a judgment on how they raised us. So let's just start by saying if this is a challenge for you, it's a very, very common one. Do any of these look a little familiar? I think we've all been there. You've got the different ideas about discipline, the constant stream of TV, sweets, and noisy plastic toys. Or maybe they jump in to help a little too much. Just seeing these all listed out can be kind of validating. It's not just you. These are the classic hurdles. But right after we talk about all those challenges, here's the little glimmer of hope we have to hang on to. Be
patient. Just like we talked about with sharing the joy, often the most persuasive thing you have is your kid, their competence, their happiness. When grandma sees her grandchild's incredible capabilities for herself, that's when minds really start to open up. Now, when it comes to caregivers, like a nanny or a babysitter, we've got two pretty brilliant paths you can take. You can go the explicit approach, written guides, regular check-ins, the whole deal. Or you can try the observe approach. With this one, you just focus on preparing the environment so your child can be independent, and then you give one simple rule. Please don't interrupt. It's amazing because often the caregiver is just blown away by what the child can do on their own and naturally gets on board.
So it's pretty clear that having these conversations takes real work. It takes patience, it takes strategy. So let's talk about the big payoff. Why is doing all this hard work so worth it in the end?
When you look at a family like Jasmine and Andrew's, you see it's not really about having all the perfect wooden toys. It's about fostering an attitude. It's about raising kids who can manage their own time and responsibilities, who know how to play freely, and who actually develop a genuine love for learning.
And this right here, this is the whole point. This is the why. The ultimate payoff isn't a kid who performs for praise. It's a child who is quietly confident. And that's a special kind of confidence because it comes from the inside. It's built on a rock-solid foundation of real, actual experiences where they prove to themselves over and over again that they are capable.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this question. Just take a second and think about your own village. Who's in it? And based on everything we've talked about, what is one small, totally manageable seed of understanding that you could plant today? Because sometimes that one little seed is all it takes to start growing a much more supportive village around you and your amazing child.